Welcome back. We're live. The two alphas talk. We had some technical difficulties. One of us had an emergency tonight, so we have to deal with real life situations before we come on live. You know how it goes. And we'll talk to you soon. Tonight we're going to talk to you about EDC. This is a call-in show. And we'll get with you when we get back. Yeah. All right, everybody. So we're back. This call-in show. We're live on YouTube. The Two Alphas Talk. Tonight we're going to talk to you about EDC, and also let me double check. Oh, it didn't fire. Hey, son of a gun. And was trying to fire off on Rumble tonight, but it didn't fire. Oh my God, I had so many issues with Rumble. It's disgusting. And first thing we'll do is thank our sponsors. It's people Absolutely. Who run this show. And that is Saber Team Tactical, saberteamtactical.com. And go to the top right-hand corner. Let me pull up the page here for you guys so you have to know what I'm talking about. Top right-hand corner and go to classes. You can read about us. We got a few videos up there. The link's at the bottom on the first page. You got the Facebook page. It'll take you to. It also has a Tumblr page, the Instagram page, and it will take you to the Two Alphas Talk page. And if you go to the top right and click on classes, all our classes are expended for the year. So Al, go ahead.
Yep. So our main one is one-on-one firearms training, and that's why we take you out. We have an assessment that we run. After running that assessment, we kind of get a gauge as to where you are, and we start to drill from there. We'll make you better, guarantee that.
Yeah, and we run a gamut of classes of all year long, and it's to train you up for the big grand finale class, the Rifle and Tactical Gear class that happened at the end of the year. All the instructors come out. We get out there on that, and we only take 6 people for the whole year who we feel that are ready for that class, and you're the only ones that can sign up for that class. And you come out and you test your stuff, test your gear, and guarantee you something's gonna fail. Our last class, we saw ARs failing like like no tomorrow. Lunchtime, the whole table went into an armorer's workbench.
Like a workshop.
Yeah, so it was actually pretty funny to see that. None of all the AKs are sitting on a rack that's resting. Mm-hmm. You know,
all they did was overheat a little bit.
Right. Yep. Man, it was funny. Mm-hmm. It was really funny. And we got an online store. I'm actually made a decision. I am thinking I'm going to take this store down. And so it's probably going to go away at the end of the year. And we got swag and things of that nature on there. I'm going to figure out another way to put them on the main page and let the store go down. And unless we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? But I still have a month and a half to figure out make my decision. All right. Let's go into AWK and Omar. Let's go into, this is ideal for you guys, probably for you guys who are working, for us to start at 9:30. What do you think, Al? You know what I'm saying? Because you guys used to complain that you're just now getting home. Let us know if that's true, and we'll push it back to 9:30 if this is a good time for you.
Exactly, and it work for us as well.
Yeah, it will work for us. I was getting sleepy on the couch, so somebody called me and let me know what was happening. Today was a fantastic day. I want to start off with the political news, okay, and then we're gonna go into Al's got a great subject he want to talk about tonight, and political news. 9:30 is okay. Okay, cool. And political news today, I went out to go see Herschel Walker today and Governor Kemp in the state of Georgia. And the owner of Venture Outdoors was out there, and Wallace, and he talked about how important this race is. And he do know, Al, check this out. He knows if Herschel Walker lose, he knows he's going to lose his gun shop. That's amazing.
Really?
He knows it. He actually admitted that he knows, what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are aware of what's happening. The beautiful thing that we won the House. The House is 218 or 219?
218.
211. Yep. The Republican Party has started doing investigation. Now let's see if these jokers are going to follow through with these investigations once they start doing them, and that's what I'm not sure of. So also in the Senate, we all know that the head of the Senate, he did not fund any Trump supporters who was actually doing that, but he did give $14 million to Herschel Walker to help his election. Now,
right.
Here's a caveat to that. If Herschel Walker wins his election, he only needs to win two counties, and that's Cobb County and I think Gwinnett County. He lost those to Warnock. And so if he can win those two counties, he'll win his reelection bid and the runoff. And so what they're planning on doing, Herschel Walker win, that'll be 50-50. Then they're planning on changing Joe Manchin over to a Republican, because Joe Manchin has been kicked out of his Democratic group for siding with the Republicans. And they already told him, you cannot win as a Democrat, but you can guarantee you can win as a Republican. And Joe Manchin is a Republican anyway. I don't know what he's doing. And so if they do that, it'll be 51-50. They were on the Senate. Right. Isn't that smart? Yeah. So if they do that,
you can't have 51-50. By the way,
that's what it is.
101. There'll be 101.
Oh, it's all right. That's right. It's only
51-49.
Right. Yeah, 51-49. That's right. It's only 100 senators. Yeah. Right. My bad.
No problem. I keep you straight, bro.
You keep me straight. Just don't
get mad.
No, I'm not getting mad. Hold on. So that is the plan they got in place. So all of us here in Georgia, get out and vote early and vote. I think the early voting starts after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So get out and vote.
Monday,
get your votes out there. Get your friends out and vote. We got to get and also too, don't exclude your Democratic friends who own guns, because if you explain this to them about the HR 1808 is on the looms and is waiting for the Senate to put it on the floor so they can vote on it, that will affect them too. So you need to get
especially those new gun owners.
Yes, you guys need it. Get educated, educate yourself, educate your Democratic friends, and let them go. Like I'm telling people, I'm telling my family members, if you want my gun business, firearm training to continue to go, you better vote for Herschel Walker, because if he don't win, I'm done. This goes away. It's
amazing how when you say that, you think about it with the previous assault weapon ban, quote unquote, how people who were in the industry dealt with it then across the country. Now you have different places. Like I'm spent about 25 years in the state of Maryland, and I have people who are in Maryland reaching out to me because they have their new ordinances and new mandates in order to get training. So they have to get a license and to get to own a gun. They got to get this in order to participate in carry guns, blah, blah, blah. So they got all these hoops to jump through, and they got to basically, it's like Chicago or Illinois, should I say, where you got to have a FOID card, and they have something similar to that in the state of Maryland. So I'm listening to it, and it dawned on me, like, wow, so you got to go to a trainer to learn, quote unquote, gun safety, and then from there you can apply to get a license to carry once you get the steps. So it's a money grab, but at the same time, these people are going through this. They don't have any nobody to guide them through because it's new. But it dawned on me, like I said, what happens to a guy that's a trainer and all that goes away? So you put money into becoming, certified to be a trainer in this state and to offer your assistance to other people, and then as you go along, all of a sudden that's gone, and they're not gonna reimburse you.
No.
And it's the same as with a confiscation. They're not going to reimburse us. That's what people don't understand. Whatever money you spent on firearms over the years, and I'm telling you, and I know I'm not the only one. There's guys on here that I know are listening to us, and they'll see this, that have been around for a long time and they've been buying guns for a long time. They've been owning guns for a long time. All of that goes away. All
Hmm.
that goes away, and there's no reimbursement.
Right. Well, that's right. I'm trying to think of when we read the bill. That I know the confiscation clause is in there, and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't say anything about an Amazon gift card.
No,
So it's just you give them up or go to jail. That's
right.
what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't give them up in that 90-day period after the bill is
You're an outlaw.
signed, you're an outlaw, and they're coming
Yep.
to get you, and they're going to hit you with a felony after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
And you got now
that's.
you got a court case that you have to deal with. Yeah, at the very least. That's
Mm-hmm.
not even counting on some of these stormtroopers coming knocking on your door saying that we know what you got.
At 3 o'clock in the morning,
You remember that
and it's.
time you posted on Instagram about that new gun you
Mm-hmm.
bought? Well, come on, we need it.
Mm-hmm. And there's no grandfather. So all the firearms you bought that's not on the books, when they come
Mm-hmm.
raid your house and they see them, they taking those too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yeah.
then they're gonna charge you with another felony up about those.
Yep. And
So
and and you know, to be fair, I'm talking about. I think I bought my first firearm like 1987,
mhm.
1986, and I still have it. That's the thing. That's what
let me
that's my point.
let me
And
think.
and and those things are things that will come back to, they don't care.
Now,
They're just gonna take it.
all the firearms I bought back in the original, they're all gone. I sold them all. It was all
Mm-mm.
crap. Yeah, P89. I bought a 1911. I think it was a Jamamatic. Um, I bought a 38 snub nose. It was a Taurus at the time. I think I got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I have none of those guns anymore. So
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. Again, we talked about this before with mentors and all. In my time, I had even back then told me don't sell it, don't sell because
oh yeah,
he told me you'll be sorry for selling, and
right.
so I didn't, and it was I'm trying to think because I did sell one or two.
Hmm.
It was Smith and Wesson 6956 or something like that, whatever the number model background
Right.
was, and but those are the type of things that that you learn as you go along.
Hmm.
So after that it was like don't do it, don't sell. So I've always had it in my head not to sell.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hang on to them for a while and
Hmm.
see what happened. And but mostly I think I sold them because I didn't need them. You know, I was in the army at the time. It's hard to store firearms when you're in the army. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you have to. If you lived on barracks, you have to take them into the arms room and have them locked up in the arms room. Then
Mm.
you got to get permission to take them out to go shoot them or clean them. And then that whole time, the armor is in there taking your stuff to the range and just abusing it. You know what I'm saying?
So that's probably the face of what we'll see in the future.
Right. He's just abusing your stuff. So you go down there to go get it out, and you're like, "Why is my weapon so dirty?" He's got, I don't know. He's been
Right.
shooting it. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And just
Yeah.
having fun, having his way with it, just molesting it. You know, it's
Damn.
just ridiculous. And so hello.
Hmm.
And then so when I got up in rank, I bought some other weapons on post. Then I let my platoon sergeant keep him at his house off post. He lived off post, so he kept him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a way to get around it because you could
Yeah.
not even, if you get caught on post driving with those weapons in your car and you wasn't taking them to be locked up at the arms room,
Right.
dude, that's a heavy felony. And you're done.
Yeah, I
You're
can see that.
through. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not playing.
that makes sense to what you're saying in reference to making sure that no one knew that you had them for the most part.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I didn't mess around with weapons too much in the army, especially private weapons. I had a few, but I always kept them hidden in my place when I lived on post,
Right.
and so nobody ever saw them. I had two yellow M16 rubber duckies I used to have for swimming and stuff,
Hmm.
and the guy came and was cleaning my house one day. And he saw him leaning in the damn thing. He walked out the room real fast. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "Man, I'm about to go call MPs." I said, "Why?" He said, "Man, you got two M16s landing." I said, "Dude, they're fake. They're fake, man. What's wrong with you? You know, you're not supposed to have any weapons." I said, "They're not weapons. Look." You know what I'm saying? It's freaking idiot. You know, I should have kept those things. I don't know why I didn't keep them. And
dude, you know the funny thing is when you just described that, it reminded me of like 2014 when the feds got that load of airsoft guns, and there's a video on YouTube somewhere where the guy is saying that you can make this a full automatic. It's shooting plastic BBs. It will never ever shoot a real bullet. Right. And there's an ATF agent that literally, I think he got fired or admonished in some way, demoted or something, where he said, "Yeah, it's easy for these kids to get these guns and they can convert them to real firearms." And it's like, you're lying. You're lying. They will never be a firearm.
And then let's just tell you right there, most ATF and FBI's do not know about firearms. They have no clue. No clue. Yeah. Totally embarrassing.
Exactly. It was.
Yeah. And speaking of that, we're going to talk about the EDC. So we're going to give you guys a chance to call in tonight if you guys want to express your EDC. The number is 404-692-0561. And it's an open line tonight. And
and when we talk about EDC, we're talking about the things that you carry, not just the firearm. We want you to rep the gun. If you come from anywhere in the state of Georgia, rep your state, like Stockbridge or McDonough or wherever you're from.
Yeah, county, state, you know. You ain't got to give your address and say, you know, this is my front door.
Right. We're not looking for GPS locations or anything like that.
Yeah. So go ahead, Al, and I'll start off with mine.
Well, I go back and forth nowadays. My main carry is a Glock 19 that was made in 1987. It's pretty much still the same gun. It has had a spring job done around 2011, whenever I moved to Georgia. I carry let me see what the hell is the name of this thing. I got a knife right here.
Don't do like on the internet.
No. I got a Benchmade, this thing that I carry as well every day. I got a flashlight that's in my outer jacket. I got a vest. Yeah, I took most of the stuff off. It's funny. I took in my car I have Saber pepper spray. I think it's like 23%, something like that. 23, 73, whichever the opposite word is. Yeah, cop stuff. Yeah, it's pretty old, but it still works. Every once in a while, I spray a little bit and take a sniff, and it's still potent.
You spray a little bit and put in your cheeseburger and have a little bite.
That's right. It's seasoning. It's seasoning in a can. Yeah, but I carry a flashlight separate than a weapons mounted light because I don't want to point my gun at somebody if I just want to see what's in the dark.
Right.
It being a threat.
There you go. You go. And I explained what I did one time. You got anything else?
No, that's it. That's pretty much what I carry it every day. Well, a spare magazine. Okay. I'm not like you. I do have an IFAK in my car.
Yeah.
But I don't have one in my pocket. It won't. If I make it back up, might help. So
I started out carrying. When I first started carrying, the XD40, and I was carrying it because it's small and compact. And I realized that gun is worthless. So after shooting, got into competition shooting. I bought a Glock. My first Glock I bought was a Glock 17. I started using that for competition. So for over about a year and a half, then I bought a Glock 34. So now I carry the Glock 17. And it's all stock, nothing strict on it, sights, nothing.
Right.
And I carry 2 extra magazines, and but also carry a knife in my left pocket because I figure my gun hand is here and I can go to my left. But some days I do carry a knife in both pockets because I might, you can get a knife faster than you can get a gun. Right. And especially if you're attacked, you wrestle, I can get to that knife and get you with it. So sometimes I carry 2 knives. I do carry a flashlight, not mounted to my firearm. I do not carry a mounted light on my firearm. I have no purpose for it. And I do carry pepper spray.
You said that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. And the guys don't like it, they don't like it. They can go down
They
to
can chime in. There
No,
you
no,
go. They
they
can
can
chime
yeah,
in.
they can chime in, but they can also go down to Walmart and buy some Pampers and wipe your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're gonna be crying about it.
Mm.
But that's my preference, and there's reasons behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I also carry pepper spray, and I can't remember what the brand this one is, but um, then I also carry a
Didn't you have Smith and Wesson?
yeah, I do have Smith and Wesson's pepper. Yeah, Smith and Wesson pepper spray.
Mm.
Yeah, and I do carry Israeli 6-inch Israeli bandage
Mm-hmm.
and a Cat 7, and they're bandaged together. They have a rubber band on them, and I keep them always in my left pocket.
Right.
And so I always know where it's at, and that's for me, not for the not for the person that's injured. It's for me. If I get injured, I
Right.
give a damn about who else is injured, or it's for a loved one. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody,
I know.
like me and Al was together. Al gets shot. Yeah, I bandaged Al up. I
Right.
was like, oh man, no man,
You
this is
should
my
have brought
stuff.
that IFAC with you.
I'll be like, you got. Let me run to your car, go get your kit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's my daily kit that I carry. And I don't carry AR in the car. I don't carry AR on my back. I have them, but those are for long haul travels. Like if I go out of state, or if I'm an hour away from home or something like that in that nature, then I carry that type of gear. But that is not my primary. I'm not going to be going to get that, so.
Yeah. So when you
Yeah.
EDC a rifle, how many magazines do you have?
Oh, there we go, babies.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually carry, when I EDC a rifle, I carry 8 magazines. Now, why 8? All right. So I got the 6. That's the standard loadout. I'm going to keep the 7th one in the rifle. Now, the 8th one, that's my last resort reserve. If I run out of all additional ammunition, that last one's going to go in my pocket. And that's the way I carry it in real life. I carried 6 on my LBE. I carried 1 in the gun. I carried 1 in my left cargo pocket. So, and that was always my backup, my last resort.
This is another testament to Rick as well, because this is one of the things that him and I always talk about, especially when it comes to you, because we talk behind your back. Is one of the things that the
that's
stuff
why
that you
are burning.
Yeah, that's why your ears are burning.
Yeah,
is that the things that you talk about, and it kind of relates to the same as what we deal with, is based upon experience. So it's not like some whim, or you looked at a bunch of stats and you started looking at numbers and you said, oh, it seems reasonable that if it's 2 to 3 feet away from us that most of our fights occur, that I only need 6 rounds in my gun, because most gunfights that we see, as we calculate all the data, only last 6 rounds. So you only need 6 rounds. Get the fuck out of here. So anyway, I had to say that. I get it out of my system. But that is what we always, what you just said. I can see you, and you can probably tell us a story or two of the times where you took that loadout into a real engagement, or into a real mission, or travel in that way. So this is what people you experience when you come to our classes, is that you're getting real world experience from people who've actually done it. It's not based upon speculation because this gadget looks good. And not only that, Surefire pays me 10% of every sale that I make. So it's not based on that. It's based on real world situations and tactics and practical use of the equipment.
Right. And you guys got to understand, I did a lot of study doctrine under the Vietnam War stuff, and a lot of my instructors were Vietnam veterans. And so these guys, I used to read their doctrine and their SOPs, and they used to tell me their loadouts, and this is how you carried stuff. This is what you needed to do. Mm-hmm. And I used those tactics and SOPs when I was on the long range patrol team. And I used those same tactics and patrols from the 60s and the 70s that they did, and remodified them. Even when I went to long range patrol school, they even said use those tactics. And because they said it's the exact same,
it
just
works.
a different name. Yeah, it works. It's just we're in a different organizational name, but we're doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so those
And
tactics
on
still
top of
work.
that, just based upon the history, right? You have military history under your belt, but I'm looking at it from a historical perspective.
Hmm.
Vietnam, whether you like it or not, the reason why we wound up rolling out of there without a W is because it was unprecedented.
Hmm.
The style of fighting that the Viet Cong used against the United States was totally different, and we never saw that before,
Yeah,
right?
guerrilla warfare. Right.
Guerrilla warfare, hit and run, and all that good stuff,
Hmm.
right? People who are willing to sacrifice and live in, places that you think there's nobody can live there. Nobody could survive that, and that's where they. And
Right.
then you see two eyes pop out, and they're standing right in front of you. So that kind of fighting led to what we are today. Almost, if you look and you compare what happened in Vietnam, and even though it's a jungle environment, you compare that to any urban environment that you see today, majority of that stuff is very similar that's happening,
Right.
whether it's currently right now in Ukraine or somewhere in
Mhm.
Mogadishu. You see that same type of guerrilla warfare. And people who are dressed like this, not in uniforms, who are your insurgent, who is
Right.
your bad guy. So
Right.
that is why when you and I have conversations and I'm listening to you, I may not say it to you, and you've heard this before, but I say that's what the practical experience comes from, because it's not, that was what you did in the 60s, that's what you did in the 70s. That's effective, and it's been proven effective.
It's very effective, and yeah, like WK said right here. Here's one of the techniques that they always use. They would in a 30-round magazine AR, they always put 28 rounds or a full 30 rounds. Now they put the 28 because remember the Car 15s and the first ARs were crap, and they used and the magazines had horrible springs in them. So what they had to do was not to overspring it, because what it would do, it would bulk out if you put too many rounds in it, and then your magazines just disintegrated or it wouldn't function.
Right.
So
and a lot of them you couldn't get the magazine to seat with 30 rounds,
with
because
30
it
rounds.
would press up against the bolt. So unless you open the bolt, inserted the magazine, and let that first round charge, it would not close.
And that theory, that is not a theory, but that fact happened all the way up into the 80s, where the M16s, you couldn't load 30 rounds in them. We used to have to load 28, even in the regular M16 A1s, A2s. I think
You're talking about
A3s.
M16s. We had the same issue with AR-15s as civilian police officers. It was the same.
Yeah.
That same thing in the 80s was taught to us, is like you download 2 rounds or download at least one in order to make sure you get a seamless.
You slap it in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you really,
or you
even
had
at 29, you still had to fight it.
Yeah. Or you have to load it with an open bolt. Yeah. And so
I'm both.
Yeah, I'm both.
I have
too.
USGI as well as many polymer magazines.
Now there's some plus and minuses to the metal and the polymer.
Oh yeah,
the metal can be used as a weapon. Okay, and that's the reason why some of the metals were ideal back
gotta
then.
Like this guy, man. Everything with him is a weapon. Go ahead.
You take that metal magazine and put your thumb in the back of and slam it right here on a person, dude. I mean, and just keep beating and keep beating and keep beating. You're gonna do some damage. Now with a polymer magazine, you can't
disintegrate.
It's gonna disintegrate. Yeah. So, but now the polymer magazines, they did have problems with them in the heat in the current war we were in today, and so there were a lot of soldiers were. Yeah, they were warping in the heat. 120 degrees, the polymer magazine started to disintegrate. So they were ordering, I know the Marine Corps and some Army
units, they couldn't use them. Yeah.
Yeah. They put a mandatory ban on all polymer magazines, and you had to use nothing but metal.
Yep.
You know?
But that again, here we go back. Metal magazines for AR has been around since the 60s. Yeah. It works. They work. It survives. It survived Vietnam. It survived every other conflict in between there and there, here and there. And think about it. It's going backwards, but it's still going forward.
Right.
It's happening today, but you're using the technology and what's it called? The floor plate in those, the follower in those were bad back in those days. The ones that used to flip upside down. So they got an anti-flip follower. So you make it better. Right? You just you add something onto it. You don't have to take it completely away. Yeah, those plastic ones are a fraction lighter. And when you talk about miles and miles of humping, yeah, then
You're
you
gonna get
feel
used
that.
to it.
Right.
You're gonna get used to it. You're gonna get used to the weight. Yeah, if you walk and walk and walk, you're gonna get used to the pain and the weight. The pain will go away after a while, and you just get numb to it. And
It's just the masochist.
well, that's one of the things I had to learn to do was I learned to enjoy pain. And yeah, it's a sick thing, but if you learn to enjoy pain, that means what you're putting your body through really is not going to hurt you. At least for that first hour, it's going to hurt real bad. Then after that first hour, then you're good to go.
That's what the young guys picked up on that, and it's called they say embrace the suck. You heard
Yeah,
that
that was a word that came around in the movies and stuff. Embrace the suck. I don't know if the Marine Corps was using it. We never said that. It was always just suck it up.
Well, you got to figure out a way to market it. So I'm sure a movie used it, and they got a lot of pub on them from that movie, or somebody that's never done anything sat around or an actor said it, and everybody likes that particular actor because he's cool. That's where those little phrases come from. But back to what you were talking about, the EDC. One of the things that when you start looking at designing or putting things together for your EDC, because it changes. It should be fluid with you. So you find something new.
I don't do mine like that.
Yeah. Because if you find a better pepper spray, let me explain. If you find a better pepper spray, you change out.
Oh, that's different.
If you have a pepper spray that you can only actuate with your index finger, and you find one with a
pinky,
find one with a pinky. See, you probably. What's this? I can't even do that.
No, mine. I gotta squeeze the pinky and the thumb together in order to activate.
See, and at that point, when you find one that's better, you immediately change out. Yeah. Same thing with knives. If you like the one I just showed you, I had one of those thumb activated ones where you roll it out. This one is basically a switchblade. It's auto assisted.
Yeah. I have the auto assisted too.
So that's what I'm saying about upgrade. Not necessarily change out. You should always have a cutting instrument, right? Whether you're cutting flesh or just need it for utility, or self-defense.
Well, yeah, your cutting instrument should be one of two things. It should be a stabbing or a jagged cut.
Right.
So the stiletto knives that come out, they're for stabbing, and but I've noticed on those stiletto knives, I'm a little leery about them because the blades are so thin. Yeah. If I was to hit somebody in the chest, would I break it? But it would probably work great if you do this in the back of the head, almost like an ice pick.
Yeah.
And so,
well, that's the one. I like cleavers better than all of them, but yet again, like you mentioned, it doesn't have a pokey part.
Because you need to be able to. You need to be able to, do this motion, because if you're close enough, you got the kidneys, you got the throat, you got the eyes, and if you're sitting here trying to slash somebody in the eyes is really bad. But if you can poke a man in his eyes and take his eye out, it immediately stops the fight.
So I like both.
Right.
Based upon the knife training that I've taken, it's both. Sometimes you slice and sometimes you poke. And then you coming across this way, and then sometimes it's that directly right at him.
See, I done got old. I'm into the poking now, so I'm just gonna poke.
Dude, if you slow that down on the blooper, if you slow that down and you say that, people would think they would not know what we're thinking. I'm not gonna take it there, but
okay.
I'm old now. All I do is poke.
If you're thinking that way, you gotta take your mind out the gutter, man.
When is that gonna happen?
Never.
Exactly.
Yeah, never. I just poked. So I have some other knives that I started carrying. That's the one you put in the palm and it comes out.
Crab.
Yeah. Well, I got the Crab, but I got a huge one, and I got several.
Rick has a nice one too. I haven't seen him.
Oh no, the one I got. Nice one. I posted it on Instagram. It was in my hand and stuff. And
but you also have some blades that Spartacus would be jealous of.
Yes, I do. I have some swords and stuff too. But see, that's the beauty of having a weapons license. We can carry that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And they can't say anything.
And the same thing you said, you don't have to just carry one. You can always carry more than one.
Carry two. Right. I know some cats carry like 3 or 4 knives, and I'm like, that's a little overkill. Because
Right.
at the point, if you drop one knife and that doesn't work, go to your firearm.
Right.
You know what I'm
Make
saying?
space at that point.
Yeah,
Make space.
make
Like
space.
Big Mike's that knife that Big Mike carries all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That one on his belt. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fast. It's fast and
Mm-hmm.
sharp, and it's pointy, and it can be a slicer as well.
And seeing a lot of people would be fooled by Big Mike. You think Big Mike's just a big guy and his size and stuff like that, but Big Mike could be on you so fast. By the time you realize what done happened, Big Mike just standing over you. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
You realize you're in second place.
Yeah,
in a 2-person fight.
And then if you want to throw down and pull out those toys, he's got you. He's gonna get you before you even get off the holster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing.
Well, that's the good thing. You know, and when it comes to pepper spray, a lot of people ask me all the time about gel or the aerosol, and I always tell them if you're going to be outside, you need the aerosol. If you're going to be inside mostly, and you think that that's the time that you're going to use it, the gel is good. But you also have to remember, and even today, they haven't been able to fix it. You can wipe the gel off and throw it right back at the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you know, if you got somebody that's dedicated enough that irritant doesn't get to them fast enough, they can get back on you. And if you use an aerosol indoors, you had better be prepared to be affected.
Get some. Yeah, it's going to get everybody. Yeah, even you. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what that old saying. Get some. You're going to get some.
You're going to get some. All right. Yeah. So best thing to do is hit it and quit it. I mean, hit it and get out. That's what it's for. It's for pepper spray is for breaking contact.
21 feet, 21 foot.
Yeah,
is the distance of most of them. Most aerosols. Yeah. I see some of these cheap ones. That's what I was saying to you before about the different manufacturers. Different manufacturers are going to have different styles. You got a 4-foot spray. That's worse. That's the worst. I mean, who you spraying? Your lover? I mean, that's too close. Yeah. You need something at least 21 feet or more. 35 foot. Those foggers that they use for the bear foggers, or those are perfect, especially for humans.
Yeah, but how you gonna carry a bear fogger?
Hey, bro.
You've seen those things? They're the size of a paint can.
Yeah, but they have them now where they're like, let me see if I can get this. Like this. They're like the size of a can of soda.
And they got a trigger on
and they got a trigger, right? That's what I like about them.
They're excellent.
It comes out nothing but red flaming fire of pain.
Yeah, if it can stop a bear, just imagine what it's going to do to a human.
Right.
So you got, and they're very effective on bears. Very effective.
Yep.
You know, bears hate that stuff. Big time.
Exactly. I think the bear will appreciate that over a 44 to the chest, though.
Yeah, it'd be a 44. I'm sorry, bear. I have some bear paw soup. It is over.
Exactly. Yep. But those are the things. And then also, what about the flashlights?
Flashlights. I think I got one in my pocket right now. I always keep a flashlight when I let's see if we can see it. Yep. Boom. It's a small.
Was that the Nebo?
No, this is a TK16 Ace Beam.
Right. And
this is a little smaller. These things are about $50-$60, a little tiny one. It's I think it's about 900 looms or something like that. And but I do keep in my EDC bag. Now I do have an EDC bag that I keep. And that
you carry it to work every day?
Yeah, I carry it to work and lock it in the car. That EDC bag carries my EDC kit that I carry every day. Besides, also there's a backup firearm in it, 2 backup firearms, and another knife. Also has extra ammunition because that is my resupply bag.
So is it an EDC or a small go bag?
You can say it's a go bag, but I carry it as an EDC because I carry it every day when I go to work.
Right. And the reason why I'm saying is like the person that's never done this before and they're trying to figure out how to get it done. Okay.
So what I use it for is a resupply bag, basically. So if I ran out of rounds and for gun that I have on, okay, I can go to that bag and get more ammunition or get another gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Or it's another flashlight in there too. If this flashlight, I lose it or drop it, there's another flashlight. There's batteries in there, supply this flashlight. And it's just stuff to sustain me from staying in the fight again. You know what I'm saying? That's all
Mhm.
it is. Now I
Right.
only carry that bag if when I'm going to work, and that's it. If I'm going anywhere else, that bag does not go with me,
Okay.
and so it stays home. But if I'm going to work, that's a whole different ball game. I'm not armed inside work. All that's in the vehicle is locked up in my safe, and especially the firearms. And so, but if I have to go get that stuff, I won't go back into the building. I just get in my car and drive off. But
Right.
if all hell breaks loose, and like we had the summer of love to happen,
Mhm.
and I need to come home, I'm gonna drive back home. That bag's gonna be sitting next to me, and all my goodies are gonna be right there. So if I got to get down and throw down, there it is.
Right.
I got enough to sustain me to get home.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
So a lot
And
of times, what you just said, and I hit when I'm listening to it, people will say, "Well, he has two guns," and it's not necessarily that one is a backup to the other one. One is it's a better to a reload to picking up another gun as opposed to actually doing a reload.
let me explain that.
Hmm.
I do carry a Glock 26, and I have a rig and carry that Glock 26 appendix carry. Now I can carry that Glock 26 with the regular magazine that Glock 26 has in it,
Right.
plus the 17 on the right, two spare mags of 17 on the left. Guess what, guys? Those 17 mags will fit that Glock 26.
Yeah. See
So
that people haven't spoken about that in a long time.
yeah,
Keep going.
yeah. So if my 17 goes down,
Hmm.
malfunctions, I can drop it immediately, go to the 26, and put that magazine in there off my hip and keep right on running.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
so
That was a big selling point for Glocks back in the 80s was just
mhm,
that anything that's bigger. So if you start off and when they started off with the 17, came out with the 19. The
mhm.
19 magazines were compatible with the 17. It just wasn't reversible. But
Right,
everyone, it was a good thing because your 17 was your main,
universal bag.
and it was your main gun, and then the
Hmm.
19s were your backups. So
Hmm.
now, but again, everybody's got ammunition for their main one. Like you said, the two magazines. And if something should happen to your main gun and it went down, your backup, that 19 fit, use those same magazines.
You don't have to
Right.
carry another
Hmm.
set of magazines in your hip
Exactly.
pocket, and it's like every time you sit down, you're filling those magazines.
Yep. And
So
the uniformity of ammunition
right.
and both 9mm. So you're right there, and it continue. You're able to just continue.
Right. Now, I only carry like that if I know I'm going into a high crime area. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And it's lately I haven't been stupid, so I don't go into high crime areas. So I don't carry like that because I'm not in those areas. So I just stay home now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hmm.
So, but if I have to go in those areas, I can throw them both on. Now,
Right.
now the 26, I do switch out when I do these craft shows and stuff like that because my 17, the muzzle, not the muzzle, but the butt sticks out. I
Hmm.
gotta wear extra big shirts and stuff. And but I know some people might see the print. I really don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? At
Right.
this point. But at the shows, and not to make people feel nervous, I wear the 26 with the 217 round, the 17
Magazine.
magazines.
Hmm.
And so you can't see the 26 when I'm wearing the big shirts. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's there.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I got the same grip with it. Only thing is different is the barrel short. That's about
Right.
it. But I can
Hmm.
throw down a hammer on you with it just as easy with that 17.
Right.
So, yeah.
Hmm. And that's the good thing when it comes to an EDC, So again, I'm going to prompt the guys, whoever listening, either give us a call and tell us what you EDC and why, and a couple minutes, no big deal, just a couple minutes. It's good for our algorithm, so then we play back our. We're not blooper reels. What is it? What do you call it?
Highlights.
Technician. Yeah, one of the highlights. We can highlight one of you guys calling in. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep. We're plugging it.
And yeah, it's I always learn never if you if you carry a firearm, a lot of these guys they put a lot of money into their carry firearms,
Hmm.
and I won't do all that. I just leave it stock because if I know if I use it in
There
real
you go.
life,
Keep going.
it's
Keep
going to get
going.
confiscated. And if when it gets confiscated, and if it's all pretty and decked out and all that stuff, you're not getting it back. Somebody's gonna keep that. They're gonna say it got lost.
$1,200 and a $500 gun.
Yeah, they're gonna
And
say it got
even
lost.
just think about it. That could happen, and it has happened in the past. But just let's talk about legitimate. Okay, let's say it's not a questionable shooting. It's not cut and dry neither. It's just right in the middle, and that case takes a year. That gun is being held for a year. Depending on where you are, if you're in a place, most of the counties in the state of Georgia do not have their own forensic lab. So they're sending it out to the GBI. So when they send it out to the GBI, they got to get the GBI, that's the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They're doing the ballistics and science stuff on it, right? Now, what about if one of these guys, if the case goes federal, and now the FBI gets involved? Now that gun is going someplace in EDC or Arlington,
you never
Virginia,
get it
somewhere.
back.
See,
It's not coming back.
Point.
You're
Right.
going to lose that firearm. Now, if you have insurance, now will your insurance pay for the value of your firearm? Now you got to prove that you got all this gear and stuff on your firearm for them to get it. Now they'll buy you a regular Glock 17, but if you put an extra $600 in parts on it, you got to prove it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to have receipts. You got to sell.
And then you start talking about how long did you use that with those parts on it? So they're going to look at the depreciation on that. So if you spent $600 added to the $500 to get the gun in the first place, and all that stuff depreciates, now you may get back $250 extra. So you get the gun in $250.
Now what's good to upgrade on your everyday carry is put some night sights on there if you want to. That's always a plus. Night sights. Then if you want to put a trigger on there, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And but going with the compensator barrel and all this other stuff,
and that trigger shouldn't be less than the stock trigger, the poundage wise. Smooth it out, but don't make it lighter. The lighter the trigger, and that I have seen, and you can look that up. When people start talking about the Punisher end cap and all that stuff will get you, no, it won't. What will get you is a lighter trigger.
Yeah, because that's stress. It's a stress. It's they already did the test with stress, and harder triggers makes a person think twice before pulling the trigger. And if you have a lighter trigger under stress, you'll pull the trigger a lot more faster, more frequently. Then you won't even realize you're doing it.
Right.
So
and that's in real cases. Think about that guy in Florida, I think he was. He took out he had the Ruger PC9. The kid's father showed up and he wanted his kid, and he was on the property. He told him to get off the property, and the dude said, "I ain't going no way." Drew the rifle out and pop, just took him out.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was in Texas. You're talking about that was in Texas. It was,
crazy places.
Yeah, he had a PCC.
Right.
I think he was a competition shooter, and that was his competition rifle, and he just juiced that guy. Didn't go to jail behind it though. They found
that's my point. Right. So something like, unless your case is something like that, where you get it, they just come look at the situation. Dominus Otis, get out of here.
Yeah, because Texas has a stand your ground law and also a castle law, and
he was trespassing.
And he was trespassing. And when he made a fatal mistake, when he grabbed the firearm, if he didn't grab the firearm, it'd have been a totally different scenario. But he grabbed the firearm. And that's when the guy was like, "I'm defending myself at this point." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it's articulation. You can be wrong and articulate right, and you might get a 50-50 look at it. You can be right and say the wrong things, and you will get drowned.
Yeah. Well, luckily his was on videotape, so that's what saved him.
Right. And he knew the law. He also knew the law previous. The other dude didn't know the law. So he kept pushing when he should have just backed the hell up and got off the man property.
Once he saw the guy go in the house, come out with the rifle, he should have just gotten his car.
You don't have a gun? Go on home,
good.
man.
I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then again, you're looking at cooler heads, and they had a whole a long history of anger towards one another. So and
if you notice, the last 20 years, people have not been afraid of firearms.
No.
Just because you have a firearm and you tell a person you have a firearm, don't mean that person's going to back down.
Right.
That person might buck up and make you prove that you're going to shoot them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, you
That's
make
why I
your own.
tell all the folks that have taken these classes, I always say, do not announce that. Do not. If
They
you
will.
take it out, it's because you have to use it. Another topic for another time is the street legends, where I grew up hearing all the time, if you draw it, you better use it. No, you
Yes,
don't. No, you don't.
that's
You don't
that's
have
the
to
way.
use it.
That's the way I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, see, my thing is this: you draw the gun, and the guy on the other side puts his hands up. You still gonna shoot him?
no, but I'm not going to draw unless I
I
feel
see.
a
What did
definite
you
threat.
say? What did you? Right. That's your point.
Right.
But
I
I'm
have to
saying,
see. I have to see a definite threat.
right.
You know what
You're
I'm
looking
saying?
at intimate danger. I
Well,
think
for
I messed
me,
that one up.
intimate danger is two or more people. Oh, so if you got
Mhm.
two guys, or if you got a guy with some type of weapon, it could be a
Already
bat,
brandishing. Right.
brandishing, broomstick, knife,
Right.
um, or if he's just a big old dude, he can
Mhm.
be one of these big muscle bound dudes, and I know he's gonna beat me to death. You
Right.
know what I'm
But
saying?
see what you
And
said, he's going to beat you to death. Your expertise at that level allows you to understand and have the time to say, I'm not going to draw my gun until it's necessary. I'm
right,
talking about we see out here today
yeah,
where people are drawing guns and then they use them because they drew it because of that stupidness
people
that they hear on the street.
people
You
drawing
do not
guns.
have to, if you draw a gun and the threat goes away, put the gun away. Because if you shoot the person, you are wrong.
Yeah, you're gonna go down.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's my
um,
point.
yeah, but
And
then
it's
you got
almost
these.
like that Bushido code where, if when the samurai drew his sword and he couldn't put it away unless he drew blood.
Mhm.
That's basically on the same lines of what we're talking about. That's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, but then again, if you have somebody to draw down on you,
If you have somebody draw down on you and you draw your gun, you're a fool.
you better beat the draw.
Well, if I see someone drawing a gun, now I'm going for mine and I'm trying to find
Right.
cover. Right.
Right.
But if somebody's already standing there like this and you
Oh
can
yeah. Yeah. And see, also, I forgot to tell you guys, I carry a fake wallet. I carry two wallets.
Mhm.
One's real, one's fake. And the fake wallet is where it's supposed to be, and the real one's not where it's supposed to be. And the reason being, I will give that fake wallet and cower it down to let them know so I can get maybe an area of advantage. I'm not going to hand them that wallet. That wallet will be dropped. Okay. And
This was information that you give people who pay us, and that way they get the details. Now the world knows, and a lot of people know both of our tricks.
they'll never remember. I'm not even
Okay.
worried about it.
I
They'll
hope
never
so.
remember. Half the people don't even remember their names sometimes.
And the reason
You know
why I
what
said
I'm
that, someone sent me this video of a guy, and it looks like a clock radio like in your bedroom, and it opens up and it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That
And I said,
company.
okay, now everybody knows. I mean,
Right.
this was great, but now it's a viral video on
It's a
social media.
It's a
It
nice
is.
safe too.
It is. A
It's a
safe
Georgia
rolls out,
company.
and
Company's
it,
here in Georgia.
yeah. I forgot the names, but
Yeah.
they do all the like the mantelpiece that
I know who
drop
sent
down.
to
You can
that
put
too. Yeah.
put a shotgun in.
He sent it to me too. Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. So with that, it's like he got
I
his
would never
EDC,
buy
his
one.
watch. Huh?
Yeah, I would never buy one because I won't
Right.
lock my. I don't have any kids at home, so I'm not locking my stuff up, and I need to have it freely. Matter of
Right.
fact, it's on me right now. So the
Me
only
too.
two things that are on me is my firearm and flashlight, and that's all I need: firearm and flashlight. When I'm at home, I take everything else off because if I get hit and I'm bleeding out, I got so many jackets and stuff around here I can probably grab. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And stop the bleeding at least. But
Right. And
but-
in this situation at home, you got a better chance with the EMS getting to you than being out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I have an alarm system, camera system. I mean, you're not coming in here unexpected unless I allow you in. And
Right.
when you do, there's ARs all over the place in here. So, I don't think you want to mess with me on that point because there's one upstairs and one downstairs that's ready to rock. So,
Mhm.
And my wife, we can have our home plan at home, how we would maneuver if something was to happen, um, and how we would contact the police and allow them in. My doors are beefed up, secured. You just can't kick them in, and so it's certain things we have to do to allow somebody even to come into my place. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I spent years doing that and securing my place. So when I come in here, I feel very secure, and the only thing I have to do is just defend it.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is my castle and the castle walls.
Yep.
So
And
if you want,
and for those that are listening, it's available through consultation. If you want to contact us, you can reach us at
right,
sabreteam.com, sabreteamtactical.com, and we can come out and fortify your place.
right. Well, we can tell you how to fortify your
Mm-hmm.
place.
Yeah, we ain't
And,
gonna do the work.
your home, your church, or your business. And
Mm-hmm.
we can teach you how to fight in your business, how to deal with medical supplies or medical situations in your business, church, and home.
Right.
So, and come up with a plan to how to secure and fight from your home, and where's the best ways to have your families at in your home, all the other good stuff, and
Yep.
what to have, and different rooms. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? All that stuff all need to be planned out.
Right.
But your EDC, remember your EDC, and you was about to start on it out. You were saying change your gun to the season and stuff. Now,
No, I didn't say no. I don't do that. You know me. This is same gun all year long. No, I was saying that you have to evaluate it on a regular basis and change it as necessary, because once you get comfortable, once you get comfortable with it, that's a good thing. But you don't want to be overly comfortable with it, or you want to get to a point where you're overconfident and yet you haven't cleaned your gun in 3 years, and you haven't oiled it in 6. Now, but you think it's going to be ready.
Yeah, it's locked in.
You keep saying that. You keep saying that. You keep saying that. It's a machine. It needs oil.
I've been proving it, bro. I've been proving it.
Did you take the? I'll finish this for you. Did you take the Glock to take your gun to Glock?
They cleaned it.
All right, but why did you have to take it? After it broke, right? It did break.
After 7,000 to 10,000 rounds, somewhere I lost count after 7,000 rounds.
But what did you say it did?
It broke.
That's my point. Think about this. But you weren't there when this happened. Omar was there. We had a dude show up for a class, and he went to get his gun out of his car because he had never been there before. So he went to get his gun.
First, what was it?
It was a Glock. It was a the first small one, not a 48 maybe. Mm-hmm. Omar remember because Omar helped him out. It was a 40. It was 40 caliber, and it was rusted, bro. The dude had it underneath the floor mat in his front seat, in the front part of his car.
That's different.
No, you just said, this is my point. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not to you. It's not to you, Alfonso. It is to the person out there that doesn't know any better.
Okay.
And they think that gun is going to work, even though they haven't tested it or touched that gun. So
his wasn't in charge.
There was no round in the chamber. Right. Omar was kind enough to lubricate it and get it back so that he could take the class. I was about to just give him one of my guns, like use this, because that I don't even want to touch it.
But did you guys try to fire it?
Oh, it worked afterwards.
No, before
it would not. No.
We
just one look at it, and it was like it looked like.
I mean, you should have tried to fire it and see if Glock.
That's Omar. Omar remembers it. He might have tried to do that. That's why we had to clean it.
Try to fire it. You know what I'm saying?
He had to literally take it apart before he could take the class. And what I'm saying is, regardless of the condition, you have to know the condition of your firearm. You have to know the condition of your equipment. So that's the point of the change. Not necessarily change it and make something out, take something out, but to evaluate it, to take a look at it. And if it needs to be changed, then change it.
But you can always change.
With my flashlight, there was one time I was carrying a flashlight that had a top button. Mm-hmm. I switched that out for one with a rear button.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me?
Yeah, all my flashlights are rear button.
I've been old. When I first started doing this stuff, a Rayovac was a good flashlight.
Oh, good Lord, dude.
Exactly. Let's go back. Incandescent light bulb was a good light bulb.
You might as well carry this a D battery and some
I had a mag light, by the way.
You might as well carry a D battery and a Christmas ornament.
Hey, bro, I had a mag light when I first started.
Oh my God, that's sad.
1986. I had a issued mag light, and I
You had
kid
the
you
real
not,
big one.
it was about I would say 14 to 16
Yeah, so
inches.
you used it as a
And bro,
club too.
it was more of a club than it ever was a flashlight.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was some bad flashlights. I had one too. I sold it.
Full.
Yeah.
See, here we go with evaluation. Later on, they came out with a rechargeable one. Prior to that, we were using D and C batteries, like 4. You would probably have to change it every month. Every time you worked evening shift, you needed to change it. And it was incandescent light bulbs. So you got yellow light projected out. Today with the LEDs, and you see some of these cheap ones, like you got a good flashlight. There's some cheap flashlights out there that still put out more lumens than that mag light that I carried in '86.
That mag light, it was horrible. It was one step up from the, what was the flashlight you said you had? Railvac.
The Railvac.
Yeah. It was one step. It had the same bulb, and it was horrible lights.
But it was a good defensive tool.
All my flashlights are rear button. The reason being, I can hold this like this, and I've had a situation where me and my wife was walking. We were downtown. This one was stupid. We used to go downtown and go to the Roxy and go to the theater and stuff. Right. What was it? I saw the guy standing in the shadows as we were coming down the road. So as he was standing there, as soon as I got parallel with him a little bit, I noticed he was moving forward. So I hit him with the light. Boom, right in his chest, right here. That dude startled, backed up, and I just kept right on walking and smirking. And I was like, very effective, and it blinded him. He didn't know what was happening. And seeing my other flashlight I used to carry, but it was tearing up my shirts. It had a strike bezel on it.
Oh yeah,
and those are good too. The strike bezel flashlights, and because you can carry them like this. Got the strike bezel, and you can hit them and with the light and strike them at the same time, and it's like that's beautiful. You know?
And it's also, you can also use that to smash windshields or windows, car windows, if somebody needs to be evacuated or extracted.
But
good.
The 3 things I think you need to be able to change is flashlights, knives, and pepper spray. And so those are the 3. And those you can experiment with and change around.
Okay, I got one for you. The last one, holsters.
Oh,
now tell me about see, that's right. When you just said that, made me think, because I'm like, do you know how many holsters I've gone through this year, and they're all the same because I've bought them in the past, but it'll get to a certain point where I have and it'll get to a certain point where I take it off and then I'll revisit it in a couple weeks and it'll work again.
Out of all the holsters I ever had before I went to custom, I think Crossbreed is the most comfortable holsters I ever bought in my entire life. I wore a Crossbreed.
What the hell is Omar? Omar, where are you at? There's one that we both have the same one. I can't remember.
I used to wear inside the waistband, and I used to buy nothing but Crossbreed. And I wore a Crossbreed and did a a couple of state drives. And I was in that holster for 14 hours, and it still felt comfortable. I forgot it was there, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So Crossbreed is a beautiful holster if you're going to carry inside the waistband. But outside the waistband, I will not carry a Crossbreed outside the waistband. DeSantis, what's that?
Yeah, that's it. That's okay. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. DeSantis. That's a really nice. It's a combination of Kydex and leather. The one that we have, I think it's called a hybrid or hybrid or something like that. Yeah. And that holster is really nice. That's the one that fits the right now. It fits the VP9 and the Glock 19. So I'm able to switch back and forth to both of them. I'm transitioning into the VP9 era. Just transitioning and walking into the VP9.
And that goes into mag pouches too. What type of? I went through the gamut of mag pouches, and I used to carry high speed gear mag pouches. I love them. However, the high speed gear, the device that you take the 2 single pistol holders and mount it onto your belt, that would always have a failure and break.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that was the weak
I think
point,
they all do that because I went through the
yeah,
same thing you're describing with the Blackhawks.
yeah, that they were always break on the belt side, but the host, but the magwell itself,
yes,
it was
I got about
excellent.
four. I got 4 cases of that actually hold the magazine, but the connector is snapped. So
It's
I have
snapped.
4 of those, and I looked and I've looked and I've looked.
It's no point, well, no way to replace them.
No, right there you go.
There's
Exactly.
no way. So you're like, man, I don't want to get rid of it. You know,
So I find the Blackhawks at the cheap price. Reggie got a couple the other day. I found them for like $9, and I just jump on them because I know sooner or later they're going to break. And I've been using these since about 2010.
Okay, yeah, you can,
and they're singles, but I put them together to make a double.
If you buy them off the shelf like that, you can probably get about 2 or 3 years out of them before it break.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's basically what it comes down to. Yep.
That's what it comes down to. But I noticed my custom gear I have on now. This stuff ain't breaking. I mean, it is. But you pay more for custom gear, you know, and believe me, you pay more.
Right. Yeah. And think about it. With the custom stuff, you're looking at a different connector to the belt.
Yes.
So it's more like a loop than
it's more sturdier.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, because that maker, he knows that he needs to make that stuff more, especially if you're going to carry everyday carry. They're going to make it real sturdy because they don't want you coming back and bad mouthing them.
I forgot the number. It's like 0.5. Is that a 0.7 now? Nowadays they're using like 0.7. The
thickness.
The thickness.
That's over. Yeah, 0.7. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. 0.3 is oh no, points. That's about 3 millimeters.
Right.
Yeah, it's about 3. That's about 3 millimeters. It's about an eighth. What is that? An eighth? That's an eighth of an inch. Yeah,
it is, and that's the good stuff. I mean, that's almost indestructible.
Yeah, if you make it that thick, it's gonna be indestructible. Because you can buy Kydex off the shelf, and it's gonna be that paper thin stuff, and you put it in your car and leave it, and the sun gets to it, and you go back out there, and you got a flat holster.
So I don't know if you remember Sean. Sean got into holster making back in the day when we first met, and I still have this abomination that he made for me. But it was so he was trying, right? And the actual scabbard itself is okay. It's the connectors. He's got these 2 butterflies. It looks like one for the front, one in the rear. That was the connectors. And every once in a while, when I come across it, it's packed away somewhere. Every time I come across, I'll take a picture and send it to him. And he's like, dude, you need to throw that in the trash. Burn it. He's like, I can't believe that. I don't even want to admit that that's mine.
Oh my God.
Back in 2010, dude, I wore that to matches and it's pink.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, dude. Because there was nobody else out there. That was in the era of people still just really get into Kydex like that.
Right.
Prior to that, you either had a Safari Land or you didn't have Kydex. You know, Safari Land, they pioneered.
Everybody was buying Blade Tech. Blade Tech was another.
Well, Blade Tech too, Blade Tech. But Blade Tech now is pretty much plastic. It's not.
I know.
It's not.
It's not the good plastic anymore.
No, it's like toy grade plastic.
Yeah.
I have one of the hosters that I cycle through is a Blade Tech, and it's the old Blade Tech with the little fish embroidered in bays and bros and stamped into it.
I think I have one of those somewhere. I gotta find it. You know, I think
about G19. I've been through about, I would say literally, I've been through 5 sets of straps on that one in particular. Some that were good straps, some that were terrible. And now I got the straps that, and they're different color, but they were designed for Blade Tech.
Yeah. Right. Some interesting stuff. Yeah. So those are the things I will only change in EDC. Like I said.
What about ammunition? Do you change ammunition? How often you change it? Yeah. EDC carry ammunition.
I don't change it at all.
what do you carry? You probably make your own bullets. And
no. I don't carry reloads. Reason, I trust my reloads for competition because I'm making them specifically for that. Now, using them as defensive, I rather use manufacturer ammunition because I know that the parameters are always going to be set the same. You know what I'm saying?
Is that Sammy? Sammy?
Sammy.
Yeah, that's the name of the company that's the name of the organization that oversees that.
Oh yeah.
SAMMI.
But I stagger my bullets. I carry ball ammunition and 147 ball and 147 hollow points. And the hollow points is what is the name of that company? Gray Box, Red Writing. Damn, I can't
Federal?
think of it. No, hell no. No Federal.
Winchester?
Not Winchester. I can't think of the name of it.
Buffalo something? Buffalo Boar?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's a well-known company that makes them, and that's how I carry mine. I never change out ammunition because I don't let my.
When you say never, how long is never?
Well, it doesn't get wet.
I understand, but are you talking 5 years? Are you talking 7 years?
I may shoot it maybe about after 3 years or something like that.
Okay, so that's a change out. Corbon. Corbon.
No, not Cor. What? No. Damn. It starts with an H. Hollison. Hornady. Yeah, I carry Hornady hollow points.
Okay.
Yeah,
see,
I like.
Almost jogged your brain because we saw a spark come out your ear.
Corbon. Yeah, you made me think of. As soon as you said that, I saw the box right in my head. I was like, Hornady. Yeah, I use Hornady because the price is reasonable, and you look at the specs of Hornady, and they're really they're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not looking at ballistics coming off
just like the nice shiny color.
Yeah, I'm not looking at that, but I'm looking at the feet per second is coming off the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if I'm getting a high velocity coming off the barrel, I know it's going to be a high velocity hitting whatever I'm going at. That's how I look at things. I look at things as a reloading purpose. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah. I did the research for this particular ammunition, and it's the HydroShock, and I've been using HydroShock for probably close to 20 years now.
I use HydroShock in the 80s. I still got I got fresh boxes of HydroShock.
Me too. That's why I still use it. That's the other part.
I'm not going to say it.
The new one is HST.
Remember Black Tea?
The Talons.
So, yeah,
you say the first part, I say the second part. See, we didn't say the whole thing.
Black
Talons.
Yeah. So, I remember those.
Yeah. I remember those.
I'm not
they
gonna
got
say
a new one out now.
I'm not gonna say anything else on those.
yeah. You know, they were CK. If you remember that CK, if you go to your gang talk, it was CKs. Mm-hmm. You guys can figure it out or type it in gang meaning for CK. But those because they're back in that same time. The HydroShock came out with a new one, and it's called HST. Based upon the company, they say that it's not HydroShock 2. It's just, that's what they call it, HST. Most people thought that it meant HydroShock 2. It's not. It's just HST.
The company name. Yeah.
The actual branding of the bullet is the HST.
Mm-hmm. The only problem with HydroShock
still has a little nub. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're 115 grain, 124 grain. They're light bullets. And the only thing I didn't like about them is the feet per second was slow on those.
It's mid range.
Yeah, it's mid range,
but it's supposed to be a deep penetrator because of the expansion. The expansion allows it to go deeper, but it also expands and not over penetrate. Right?
Yeah,
deeper, faster. Thank you.
Yeah, as soon as it hit, it just starts expanding instead of penetrating, then expanding, then blows out.
Right.
Yeah, that was the beauty about them. Yeah.
Right, and that, and I've used Spear. I think it was Spear.
Yeah, I remember Spear.
I had that for a while, and mind you, all of this is not in real life incidents. I'm not shooting people. I'm talking about reading the data and the research from these particular ammunitions, and then seeing it.
It'd be kind of stupid to buy some hollow points, shoot somebody, and say, "Oh, those didn't work." Go back to the store and get some more.
Well, hey man, sometimes you gotta explain this to people, right? Because when you say, I've had people ask me what defensive ammo that I use, and I explain it to them, and then they say you had good results with this. Should I know?
Right.
No, I mean, I have good results in it. They load in my magazine, and they are always there when I wake up in the morning. But I just never walked off.
Yeah, I shot 8 people today.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
that,
4 of them
that
dropped.
ninth guy.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
So I don't want these no more.
I got over penetration the last time I used these.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Stupid.
Right.
But
you have to
however,
explain
if
these
you
things.
can't afford hollow points, get ball ammunition. It still works. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
but that's the problem. You use ball and you're not a sophisticated pistolero like you
gotta-
are, then you
gotta
have issues with over
Yeah,
penetration. Ball is the one that over penetrates.
It works. It still works. It still works. It still works.
Yeah, but you're trying to mitigate the
NATO
opportunity of shooting somebody that shouldn't have been shot.
NATO use ball, and that's where
because they don't give a damn. Anybody in a anybody who's not wearing blue gets shot.
That's what it falls into. Be careful what you shoot and what's behind the target.
Do you think people pay attention to that? You see you watch these videos just like I do. You see these people, they're just blazing away. They ain't got a care in the world about those 4 rules.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
See, critical defense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that G2 is something else from the data.
Yeah.
He said I use 9mm 115 grain Hornady critical defense and 9mm 90 grain G2 Telos.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fast bullet.
Yeah.
90 grains and that 9mm. That is a very hot round.
Uh-huh.
And the good thing about it, you're not feeling it in your hand when you shoot it.
Right. Remember, the smaller the bullet, the faster. The smaller the grain, the faster the bullet.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything but 115, 124s, 147, it gives you the heavier to give you more kinetic energy.
Right.
Then the light bullet to give you more speed.
Yeah, so, and that 147 is good for silence. That's what people who don't understand that you want to suppress the your sound of your ammunition or your signature. You need a heavier bullet
because it's got less powder in it.
Right.
People don't realize that.
Nope.
Yeah, heavier bullet, less powder. Smaller the bullet, more powder. So. Yeah, the reloading side, you learn all that stuff.
Yeah, pay attention long enough, you can learn some stuff too.
Read some books, shoot some stuff. John Doe. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay. Thoughts
on different hollow point rounds for different climates, regions. For example, cold weather region, more clothes, warmer climate, less clothes. Yeah, there's a lot of data and research that's been done on that in reference to ammunition penetrating heavy coats, like say in Alaska, and guys having on parkers and
or just
a sweater,
or just a fat person,
or just a fat person, bro.
Yeah, fat person.
Are you calling names? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm not talking about you, but I do know a guy who had to drop a fat person, and this fat person was juiced up. He was a police officer. He was on SWAT team, and the guy came out with blaze of gore. He snorted some coke, did some what do you call that? Amphetamines. This dude's juiced up coming out, and they said they hit this dude with everything they had. The only way he stopped him was shoot him in the mouth. You know? He said that dude was coming. You know what I'm saying? Taking everything they got.
Right. So and that too. And and the funny thing you say that, you got fat, but you also have heavily muscle people stop bullets too.
Right.
So they don't penetrate the organs. So
or
that's the thing that they don't stop people.
Or I was gonna say a dude that has rage. Rage will stop anything for a short period of time.
So what John Doe just asked, what you do with your loadout would be ideal for something like this, because you got different rounds and climates and trying to penetrate.
Well,
so you got a round that stop, and you got a round that's going to continue.
Hold on. So I have 17 in here, right? So I think I can shoot 17. I don't have to stop at 1. I don't have to stop at 2. If 1 or 2 or 6 didn't stop, I'm going down to the 17. And if that 17 didn't do it, I guess I got to reload and do this one. It's another 17. So
right.
Hey.
So in a one shot or a two shot or maybe 3 shot scenario,
carrying the
the
Dillinger.
Clydes and close and all that stuff will come into play. But especially the way that we teach, you shoot until the threat is gone, till the threat stops.
Shoot until it stops.
Right. And at that point, you talking about even 5 or 6 rounds. If that person's still available, there's something more.
Remember, we're gonna give you a pro tip. You start shooting body mass as they far out, they're getting closer and closer and closer. Your shot groups needs to be going toward the head.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's the way you need to train too.
Yeah,
because if you're shooting body and that dude is still moving, you got to turn something off.
Yeah,
and mind you, I will say this: you got to go one way or the other. You got to go either up. That's what we usually say, or you got to start going low and take out those legs.
And that's just shooting anything below the navel, the belly button. And it will stop the legs.
Yep. Because then not only that, but you're going to start getting out that bleed out as well. You got to start hitting places that are open that causing a lot of blood loss.
Yeah. I'm going up. I'm going up.
Mm-hmm. But some people can't. Some people can hit a 8-inch. Well, in your case, a 12-inch size head.
12-inch head. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. All right.
Hey man, you give it to me all the time.
You got jokes. You got jokes.
None but love, brother. None but love.
I know. I'm just messing with you, man. Just messing with you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But that's it. You got to start to reevaluate it. It's not necessarily the ammunition's problem. It's your problem. Because if the ammunition is not stopping them, and you can have the greatest rounds there are. Remember, Rob was bringing this up the other day, the silver tips. Remember those?
Mm-hmm. I used to have some of those.
He sent me an article where they actually bought them. I think it was Federal. They bought them back. Winchester. It was Winchester. They bought them back. One of them two. One of the older companies. And they bought the silver tips back. And he was asking me, well, you looking at them. I said, dude, I have no damn werewolves to kill with them. So they got more ammunition since then.
He stopped sending me those texts because I already gave him the same answer.
What you with the 9mm 45, 45, 49, what was the other one? 40 over 45.
I just told him I shoot till it go empty, bro. I ain't got time for all this.
And see, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the same answer that you're giving right now. And that's the thing that you, in practical situations, yes. There was two guys, I think his name was Sanao and Tao. They did it in the 90s, and they did a big, extensive research. Turned out to be a fraud, but the information and the question that they asked about one-shot stopping power was really big back then, and it still is today.
Yeah, it's still
to a certain degree, it's still today because people want to shoot less than more. But the bottom line came down is shot placement. Mm-hmm. That was it. It didn't matter if you were shooting a 22 or a 44. If you miss, the person's not going to go down.
Right.
That's it. Right. If you shot somebody in the shoulder and they were, like you mentioned earlier, they were dedicated and they wanted to do harm to you, it didn't matter. It's not going to stop them. Yeah. You have to put shots in places where a person's going to be effectively stopped, and that's either the head, the chest, or somewhere in the groin. That TV stuff is not going to work.
Gotta always remember that kill switch is anything above the shoulders. That's the kill switch. It immediately stops every function that you have in your body. Everything it will stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get the full penetration, that bang off the cranium is going to put a reset on everything.
Yeah, it does.
It could even make somebody go blind. So a lot of things going on with that. And the other thing that we have to pay attention to as well is how many times do people understand the after effects or what's going to happen when you shoot somebody. Most of us see it on television, and that's how we grow up, and that's our original education on that. And then you leave it at that. You need to learn so that we spoke about this before, and at the last training, when somebody gets shot, you don't see a full jerk back. Somebody may be talking to you like I'm talking right now and get shot and never really flinch, never move. You know, you don't see a full splatter of a red and purple blood coming out of the person. You just see the person still moving, staring, looking right at you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you stop shooting, and now this person gets an advantage. You gotta put the person down. If they did something that caused you to have to defend yourself, you gotta put them down.
So but basically, I was talking about the last thing you need to have in your EDC kit is the will to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
If you have that, everything else will work.
Mm-hmm. It don't matter if you're fighting with a stick, a sharp stick, or a Uzi, or any other thing you can imagine.
Yep, gotta have the will. There's a lot of people don't have that will.
Yep.
You see it every day. They don't have it. They'll let themselves die. You know, they'll second guess themselves, think about the consequences before they actually do it. And
sadly, you're right.
Yeah. And you should have your mind made up. But when you put your EDC on, your mind should already be made up on what's going to happen when you put that thing on.
Right.
Every day when I leave home, I kiss my wife like it's my last day.
Yep.
Okay. If I'm going to the grocery store I always kiss her like it's the last day. That's the way I look at it, because I'm already dead once I put my EDC on. That's why I'm doing it.
Well, I don't go that far, but I do understand.
That's how far I go. I live a good life, bro.
I know.
Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. That's the way I treat it. And so I know whatever I do is going to be for my survival or my family's survival, and I will give my all to protect that.
Right. I definitely agree with that part. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to have that already made up before you even strap it on. If you can't do that, don't strap it on.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Your gun. Don't strap on your gun is what he meant.
Yeah. Don't. Mr. Dirty Mind right here. He's probably he's thinking.
I just want to make sure everybody understands.
Yeah.
That's all. Just making sure everybody understands. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, we live in Georgia, and the home of Atlanta. So
yeah, I know what it is here. I know what it is. Yeah, that's a nasty world. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to make sure. No confusion.
No. We don't play that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Let you know that one right there. And
exactly.
Yeah. I think that's it, man. What do you think, Al?
I think it was that was a good show. Thank you again.
It was a good show. Like I said, we came on a little late. We're gonna make the shows at 9:30. We're gonna push them back. And for most of you guys, because you guys are here, but I think you guys mostly sleep or eating a tuna fish sandwich or something like that. You know, and that's cool. You know, but we do thank you guys for coming on, supporting the channel, watching the channel. Like and share the video, please.
Yeah,
it helps.
Very helpful.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're trying to get ourselves up in the thing up here.
Algorithm.
You know what I'm saying?
The algorithm.
I was talking about the numbers, subscribers.
That too.
Yeah, we need to get subscribers and get this information out. There's not too many black dudes online talking this crap. So you know what I'm saying?
Shit, he went there.
Yeah, I went there. Damn it.
Went there.
You know what I'm saying? I can't help it. I look in the mirror, I see I'm black. You know what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
A reality is a moment.
Yeah, it is, man. So, all right, we want to say you guys missed the excellent class we had on the 12th.
Oh yeah, yep.
That was
check us on social
class.
media. Rick did a good video. That last video he did is pretty good. He's got a couple more coming up.
Yeah, he's got videos coming out. He's doing them a little bit of time because he's doing some other stuff right now. But it was a excellent class. That's the class all the instructors come out and they, I get to show my stuff and be an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
And you lived up to it.
Yeah, and they get to laugh at me later on. So they do that because the only thing it does is give them stories. That's all it does.
You should have seen that one that Rick did. Wait till you see it. When the dude asked you about the sling that you were wearing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
He was filming?
No, Rick did a video about that. He was recording. He actually was using his phone.
Oh,
when the dude asked you about your sling,
and
it was kind of like it doesn't matter. And then you went into the bungee, and because he was like, well, it's got a bungee, and you were showing him why. It's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be good. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know the dude I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know
The tallest guy out there.
Yeah. I used to carry, and the reason, like I explained, I used to carry the flat thing, but once I learned those bungees slings, I was like, oh my God, I fell in love with that thing. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't hurt my neck.
And it gives you more space than you need when you think when you think you set it up right here, and then all
I
of a
can
sudden
get 3 inches out of it.
Exactly.
I can get 3 more inches. You know what I'm saying?
That's the good thing. Yeah.
It's very
I watched the argument, the debate, the conversation in full view. And as I was listening, I said, you know what? I'm going to try one of those bungees. Because I heard it, and then his questions weren't outrageous. It was just like, you're not listening, because you had made up your mind that a 2-point sling should be a certain way. Now, as he's explaining to you something new, is different than what you do, you can't accept it, is what it seemed like to me from outside. Because when the third and fourth question based on the same of the original question is continuing, it's like, you're not listening. You have a preconceived notion already, and you don't want to break that because you believe that that's the right thing to do. And that's cool, because I think you ended it with, it's not for everybody. If that's the way you're going to do it, that's okay. This is something else. And I said, you know what? I can see that, because I have a adjustable sling on all of them now. And to me, it doesn't matter, because I can fully extend.
I've never liked those.
Right.
I've never liked
And see, that's the thing. But when you have that bungee and you lift it here, and if you need to, you can extend it out here without touching it, which is a good thing. And that's what the evaluation of your equipment has to continue.
Yeah, and when I let go of it, it just rested right in the right spot when I wanted to, or I could swing it onto my back, then I can point it up. It was all universal. And that's
the same thing with what you said about the guy with the police on his back. His sling, every time he let it go, it went in the same spot every time.
Yes, it did.
Because I'm doing an evaluation from the side, because you can't see everything, and I'm coming back and hey, whispering to you like, check this, and you're like, yeah, well, watch this, and then you're seeing it too. And it comes back and drops in the same spot. So, okay, we don't have to, all right, there's no remedial needed, because he's doing the best he can.
Because when I dropped mine, it would cant over. So I had to do that. Yeah, it would not, the muzzle would be, it would be pointing at it. So, yeah. So
that's good stuff.
Tricks. Always learning, people. And we see you guys in the range.
Yes, sir.
Keep an open mind. Never get negative or get your panties in the wine because somebody don't wear a sling or somebody don't have a flashlight. Mounted on their gear. That is their preference. That is the way they want to run. Yep. And you go head to head with that person.
It's what saved their life in real time, not make believe time.
Right. And if you go head to head with that person with your gear compared to theirs, they might win.
Yep.
So, all right. We'll see you guys in the range.
On the range, guys.